Hello guys, I welcome you all to this fifth tutorial on Android app development. So today we are going to learn Android Toast, rating bar view, date picker view and spinner view. So let's begin with Android Toast. Along with the program, I'll explain what an Android Toast is. So Android Toast is nothing but an pop-up notification which displays some information on our app. So in this program, the first thing I am doing is I am creating one button. So when I'll click on this particular button, then that message, that is our toast message, will appear. So I have given the ID, so I'll give some text. Let's say click. I'll bring it to the center. I'll use some style. I'll use some size, let's say 25. So this much is okay. Now I'll initialize my button. Sorry, I'll create an object and then I'll initialize. Now out here, button equal to find view by id r dot id dot give the id of my XML file, XML button. So I will create the on click listener now. Set the view on click listener. So everything is done. Now, as I was telling, this toast is a simple pop-up message. Now this toast message will appear for a specific time period, and once the time is over, it will disappear. So I'll create that toast message, toast dot make text. Now I'll refer to the activity, that is main activity only, this activity itself. Now here we have to print the message. So this is an toast message. This is the information which I want to print. Now next is the duration, how much duration I want to give. So there are two duration for Android Toast. So that is length short, which will be of, let's say, 2 seconds, and length long of, I guess, 5 seconds. So the message will appear if I use length long for 5 seconds. If I use length short, then it will appear for 2 seconds. So I'm using length long. Now I will show it. So I'll use dot show. So our program is ready. Now I'll run this application. So my emulator is ready. So Gradle build is running, so it's installing our app. Now it will open. So here you can see my button. So when I'll click on this, this is the message or information which I have printed, which is coming in a pop-up view. So the length is long, so it will appear for 5 seconds. So likewise I can change the length and it will appear for 2 seconds or something. So I'm changing the length, I'm running it again. Okay. So length short will be of short duration. So you saw that it's of less duration as compared to length long. So this was all about Android Toast. Now we'll be using this toast only to print messages in place of text view. Till last program we were using text view to print all our outputs or messages. Now we'll be using this toast only to print our outputs. So let's move on to the second one, that is rating bar. So rating bar is an UI control or view control which is used to get rating from the user. Now this rating will be in terms of stars, so we have to touch that stars, and then based on that we will get the rating. Now in place of this button, so I'll keep this button down here. I'll add one rating bar at the top. So I'm creating this rating bar. Now you can see this rating bar is in terms of stars. So now I'll use some of the properties of or attributes of rating bar. So first I'll give the ID, let's say RB. So I've given the rating bar ID as RB. Now I'll use the property known as rating to give how much rating I want to be selected on this star. So as you can see, I gave 3.5. now 3.5 is selected. Next I'll give number of stars, so num stars attribute. Now let's say I'm giving 7. So right now our stars are by default 5. So if I give 7, then you can see 7 stars are coming. So it's up to us how much stars we want. So if I want 7, then I'll keep it like this. So let's use 7 itself. So out of 7 I'll rate an particular user. So I'll bring this in the center. So I'll use this property center in parent. Now in this button I'll use below property. So layout below our rating bar. So now as I said that we'll be using toast only to print the message. So when I'll click on this particular button, inside toast I'll print how much stars I have selected. So I'll move to main activity Java. Now here I'll be printing or writing the code. So for button we have already initialized. Now I'll create the second one, that is rating bar. So I'm creating one object here itself. So find view by ID r.id.rb. So I have connected it. Now I'll keep this toast message because here itself I'll be printing the selected star. So the first thing I'll do is I'll create one integer object, that is stars. So I'll explain why I am creating this once I write the code. So this is what I have done. Now next I'll create one float object. So let's say rating. So from here I'll get the rating. So I'll initialize both. So it's saying that it is initializing from inner class. So I'll take back this and create it here. So that's what I did, because it was within same class, so that is why it was not accepting. So I have placed it outside the now the next thing what I'll do is I'll write the rating. So rating is the rating which user will give out of total number of stars. So here you can see I have given the stars. This simply means the total number of stars, that is 7. Out of 7, how much we are giving it to the user. That's what I have stored in this float. Why I have selected float is because we can give in point value also, like I can give 3.5 also. So for that purpose I have given this rating in float data type. I have initialized it in float. So let's run this. Now here you can see all these stars are there, 7 stars. So let's say I am giving 4.5 stars. So rating is 4.5 out of 7. So let's say I am giving all 7 out of 7. So rating is 7 out of 7. So why I have selected float, because if I wanted to give in point value, that is 3.5 out of 7, then because of that purpose I have selected or used float data type. Now I will give one space here so that it looks better. So we will again see the output. So you can see rating is 3.5 out of 7. So I am giving 5 now. So rating is 5 out of 7. So to rate some user, we use this rating bar view. So I think it's clear. Now we'll move to the third one, that is date picker. So I'll remove this rating bar. Now I'll create one date picker. So date picker is what I have created. Now I'll give one ID for this. So let's say DP. Now I'll give below DP so that this button comes below. Next thing what I'll do is I will bring it to center. So let me use center horizontal because the space is less, so screen size is also quite less, so I'm using center horizontal, and I'll give some height as 300 or let's say 400. So yeah, this much is okay. So our design thing is done. We'll move to Java code. Now here in place of this rating bar, I'll initialize date picker, that is DP. I'll remove this rating bar and I'll call date picker. Now here I will connect it. So I've given the ID as DP itself. So I'll remove this. I'll keep this toast message because I'll print the values out here itself. So I'll print the value now. So I'll bring this down so that it's easy to understand. So date is, so the first thing I'll remove this. Okay, now I'll start giving the things. So inside date we have three things, that is day, particular day, a particular date, then we have months, then we have year. So I'll initialize all three things. So the first one, now I'll call dp and get the day of the month. So this will print our day, that is particular date. Now next thing I have to give is dp dot get month. So next thing is month, that's what I'm printing. And the last thing is dp dot get year. So all three things has been initialized, that is day of the month, get month and get year. Now I am using length long so that this value will be displayed for a longer period of time. So it's done. Now here one mistake we'll find, that I'll show you while running the program. So now you can see our date picker is there, and I have selected by default 18th, that is today's date. So when I click on this, our date is coming. So I will use here, okay, 18/7/2020. I'll use some backslash so that it appears in a much better way. So here I'll use this day, and here also I will use that. So now it will appear in much better way. So let's check again. So 18/7/2020. Now the month August is 8, but the month is printing as 7. So what we'll do, we will initialize one number more because the index might be starting from 0. So what I'll do, I will plus it by 1. That means it will print the exact month now. So we'll run it again. So now 18/8/2020. Now I'll go to some other month, let's say November, which is 11. So I'll select one date. So here you can see date is 25/11/2020. Now it's giving me the right and accurate date. So this was our date picker program. Now we'll move to the last one, the last program, that is spinner view. Now the spinner view is nothing but an drop down list in which we allow user to select one value from the list. So I'll create one spinner view. Now I don't require this button. I'll remove this. I'll create one spinner. So I'll give the ID SP. I will okay, I'll remove this and I'll close it here itself. Yeah, now it's better. So I'll use center in parent as true. I'll bring it in the middle. So yeah, that's it. Now we'll move to our main activity Java. So here we'll do the entire coding for this spinner view. Now I'll remove all these things. Okay, now the first thing what we'll do is we will implement one adapter view. Why we are implementing this adapter view is to select one particular item, because that spinner view, the list will contain some items, let's say some city names. Okay, so those city names will be inside the list. We have to select only one particular item from that. So I'll use this on item selected listener to select one item at a time. So for that I'll implement implements adapter view dot on item selected listener. So I have implemented. Now I will go to this and implement the methods. So it will create two methods. Those are on item selected, on nothing selected. So I'll select some items, so I'll be using this on item selected method. So I'll click on OK. Now you can see both the items has been generated, methods has been generated. So here in this on item selected I'll be printing the value. So here I'll create the toast message or toast notification. So before that we have to do many things. So let's start. So the first thing I'll do is I'll create one string and store some value in this string, let's say city names. So I have created the object as city. Now I will store some city names. So the first one is Gangtok. Now I have to use double quote. So Gangtok, then let's say Namchi, let's say Siliguri, Pakyong. So I have stored 4 names. Now I have to create one adapter so that I can store this string values in that particular adapter. So I'll do that. Before doing that, let's create or connect our spinner with the XML file. So I'll create spinner object, find view by id, r.id dot, my name was sp. So I have given this. Now I'll connect this sp with on item selected listener, set on item selected listener as this particular activity itself. Now it's done. So now I'll create the array adapter where I'll store all the city names. So I'm creating the object name as AA as array adapter itself. Now I'm referring to this activity. Now I'll be creating or selecting the default layout of Android. So r dot layout as simple drop down or simple spinner item, and I will connect it with my string, that is city. So here I have stored this city values, that is Gangtok, Namchi, Siliguri and Pakyong, inside this adapter. So it will store my values. Now next thing what I'll do is I'll select one particular style for that drop down. So for drop down I'm selecting one style, layout style, on what type of design it will appear. So that's what I'm doing. So I'll set drop down view resource. Now android dot r dot layout dot simple drop down item. So this is by default available, so I'll be selecting this only. And the last thing is I'll attach this particular adapter to my spinner. So sp dot set adapter AA. So this was my object name. So I have set this adapter to my spinner. So that's what I did with the last line. Now only one thing is left, that is to print the value. So I'll use toast. So toast dot make text. Now main activity dot this as the context. Next I'll print the message out here. So city name is, because I'll select one at a time, so I'll give city, I'll concatenate it, okay. Now I will call the length either short or long, and I'll show the message. Now here one problem is there, that we have only selected the city, we haven't selected which position to print, like the positions of this particular string, that is 0, 1, 2, 3. So if we don't mention the position, it will throw us some garbage value. Now let's see the output so that you can understand. And after that I'll place the position, then it will give me the correct output. So here you can see it is giving me some garbage value. So I've selected Namchi, but I haven't mentioned the position. So at this position actually this is stored. So I'll select the position out here, or mention the position. So with this it will give me or print the correct values. So I'm running this. Now you can see city name is Gangtok. So let me select any other city name, let's say Pakyong. So city name is Pakyong. So this is an simple example of spinner view in Android. So because of on item selected listener, we are able to print this. So I hope you guys understood all of the programs what we did today, from Android Toast, rating bar, date picker to spinner view. So If you have any doubts, you can mention on the comment section below, or you can text me. So thank you for watching.